How's it going, Talk Forest TV? My name is Jack and welcome to my preview for Nottingham Forest versus Wolverhampton Wanderers taking place at the Molineux. So, yeah, as we know, huge game this one. It is potentially Steve Cooper's last game in charge of Nottingham Forest. It's been widely documented. I don't know how true it is, but you wouldn't be surprised if it was the case. It could be his last game as Nottingham Forest manager if he fails to, well, I was going to say fails to win. I'm not sure what happens if it's a draw, but if he loses, then it's definitely going to be, from what it's been reported, it will be his last game in charge. Look, I don't want Cooper to go. I love the man. Listening to the interviews and the way that he's spoken after the game and in the lead up to this one, it's so clear to me that he's the man that I want in charge of my football club. It's just a question of whether the players want him in charge, whether he's lost the dressing room, or whether he's lost a few backing of a few individuals, which, as hard as it is to say and as difficult as it is and as unfair as it might be, when it comes to managers and players, you have, a 25-man squad. It's a lot easier to get rid of one manager than it is to replace 10 players, because you've got to sell 10 players, buy 10 players, get enough money for the 10 players, get enough interest in the 10 players. If it's a manager, you just sack them. Maybe you have to pay off their contract, but you don't have to wait for another club to come and buy them. You can just get rid of them. I know you can release a player, but if you spent 30 million on a player, you're not going to release them because that makes absolutely no sense anyway. But look, sorry, I've got a bit of a block note if you couldn't tell. It's a real opportunity, this one, to show the fans what these players are about. They absolutely let themselves down against Fulham. They were embarrassing. Some of those players clearly showed that they just did not care. They didn't want to be there. They didn't fancy it. I don't know whether some of them are trying to play that way to get Cooper out. If that's the case, then I'm absolutely disgusted, because for what Steve Cooper's done for this club compared to them is immeasurable. Cooper's done far better for this club than any manager has done in my lifetime. Did what no other manager could do and get us to the Premiership. Kept us there for a season, and some players have come in, played a few games, not really done anything, and looked to have down tools and didn't really care. And if they're doing that as a tactic to try and get Cooper out of the club, then it's going to take... Sorry, I dropped it there. It's going to take me and a lot of other fans quite a while to forgive them. Because if they, for example, they don't perform again against Wolves, Cooper goes, and then a couple of weeks down the line, a new manager comes in and they're putting in 100%, they're showing pride and passion and everything like this. It's going to be really difficult to take. Steve Cooper, as you know, is a fan's favourite. He's loved by many, many people connected to this football club. And I just feel like if they come out and they go, right, we're going to try now because we've got a new manager in charge, it's going to be a real bitter pill to swallow for a lot of fans, because Cooper, like I say, has done incredible amounts of things for this club. I don't think there's any better people in terms of Cooper as a man that you would want in charge of your club. He's such a great person for what it sounds like in the interviews. And if they can go out there and not try for him but try for somebody else, then it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling, it really is, because maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't realise what Cooper's done for the club. Maybe they don't realise what he's cultivated within the squad. Maybe they don't know the connection that he has to the fans. But it looks like some of those new players just did not really care. And they've got to really, really show against Wolves what they're made of. What they're made of. Sorry, I couldn't get words out there. What they're about. What they're there for. If they come out it'd be today now, actually. If they come out today against Wolves fighting, if they come out and play for the badge, play for the shirt, play for those travelling fans, play for the club. If they do that, they play for the manager, then you can't fault them. If they go out there and look like they can't be bothered, they look like it's another Fulham situation, then it's awful. Because they're costing a man a job because they can't be bothered to play for him. They don't want him about anymore. And I know it happened in the past. You could probably tell it happened in the Houghton regime. That Middlesbrough game, I know I talk about it quite a lot, but I was there and it was the worst performance I've ever seen live at the City Ground. It was horrendous. The players clearly didn't want him to be there. You knew it was the end and he was gone. The fans didn't want him to be there. But it's different in this situation because the fans back Cooper 100%. Well, at least I do anyway, and I know that there is definitely fans that I've seen from social media that back him, and he just has a special connection with the fans. I know a few fans on there have kind of come to the point where they're like, well, he needs to go now, thank you for what you've done, but it's time to go, they don't want to hold on to him anymore. But I know for me and a lot of other fans, he's done so much for this football club and allowed us to feel so many different emotions and let us dream and believe that we don't want him to go. And whether those players just don't realise that, I don't know. But they really need to come out in this one from minute one and die for the badge. There were certain individuals which I don't really want to name. Do I want to name them? I don't know. But there's certain players in that side, you probably know who I'm referring to anyway, that I just don't know what their thought process is at the moment, what their thinking is, what they're trying to achieve. But if they don't come out against Wolves and really, really turn things around and make a marked improvement from the last game, then it's gonna take a lot for them to get back in our good books, I feel. Not that they really care because they're still getting their paycheck and they're playing the Premier League, this, that, and the other. But as fans, I know for me in particular, I'll find it difficult to back them if that's what they're planning to do. But anyway, we look at this game and Wolves are a good side. They've been very, very unlucky, and I think a lot of people are aware of it. Very unlucky with VAR decisions. And I'm kind of hoping that a VAR decision or two goes in our favour. Nothing against Wolves, nothing against Gary O'Neill and their players, but we just need a bit of a rub of the green, a bit of fortune, and hopefully that happens to us. But yeah, they've been very, very unlucky with the VAR decisions. You can think of the Fulham game where they lost 3-2. A couple of those penalties that were given, you could argue whether they were penalties or not. Obviously, the famous one on the opening day against Man United when it was clearly a penalty. I think it was I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Really tall, I think he's a Bosnian striker. I can't remember his name. Klasnic, something potentially like that. I might be completely wrong. You guys probably know who I'm on about. He got kind of almost punched by Onana. There's one or two others that I can't quite think of off the top of my head, but they've definitely struggled with VAR decisions going against them. So they'll feel hard done by in that. But they've really sort of turned a corner of late. Got some impressive victories. One against Tottenham where they were a goal behind and managed to turn things around with a couple of late goals. They beat Burnley last time out. I think it was 1-0 in that game. So they're a good side. Gary O'Neill's a good manager. I really rate him. I was surprised when Bournemouth sacked him, to be honest with you. I think he was doing a really good job there. Kept them up with not a lot of panic, really. He managed to do a really good job in that. Steered them clear, got some big results. That one at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium comes to mind. I think it was Dango Ouattara with a late goal in that. So, yeah, it's a good manager, O'Neill. They've got some really good players in their side. I keep dropping things. I don't know why, but I feel like when I talk, I kind of have to have something in my hands. And I just dropped two things that I was holding, which is not helpful. But anyway, yeah, so they've got a good group of players there. Some players that can win a game for them. Players that can control a game for them. And we're going to have to be at our best to try and get everything from this. I know we struggle a lot with our away form anyway, so that's already a battle in itself. But look, I think we need to prove or the players need to prove to Cooper that they want him. They need to prove to the fans that they want to play for this club. And they have to go out there all guns blazing from the off. If we see any player kind of being a passenger, I expect to see other players around them giving them stick for it, telling them to sort themselves out kind of thing. We need to see on-field leadership. We need to see someone take control of that squad. The bunch of players out there. I know Felipe had the armband against Fulham. I think Cooper in his interview said there's been about 5 different captains already this season. I think we've only played about 14 games or something like that. So it's maybe less than that. Sorry, maybe more than that actually. Probably more than 14 because we've got after this one, I think there's 3 other teams. So actually, I might be right with 14. I'm waffling. But we've had 5 or 6 different captains. So we need someone, whether they've got the armband on or not, to stand up and say, look, that's not good enough. Get yourself sorted. In terms of the lineup, for me, it's a difficult one. In goal, it's one or the other. It's Flacadimos or it's Turner. Vlachodimos seems to be the man that Cooper trusts at the moment, so why not go with him? But if you want to start Turner, I wouldn't be too disappointed, just as long as they have a good game. That's all that matters to me. I think we go with a 5 at the back, revert to Cooper's tactic that he's known for. I think you go with a back 5 of probably Ola Aina, who needs to improve after that last game. Got bullied off the ball far too easily for the Jimenez goal, the back heel, and just needs to improve in that. I really have liked Aina this season. I think he's been really good in different occasions. I think definitely in that Villa game he was exceptional. So we need to see more of that. We really do. Back 3, I'd go with any one of Murillo, Felipe, Bolly. Who else have we got? Yeah, Kate. I think Bolly, for me, has to start if he's fit. I think he's someone that shows a bit of passion and is not afraid to get himself stuck in. Murillo, I think he's a really good player anyway, so I'd give him a go. I would have said Joel because he's a Cooper warrior. He's been there, done it before, but I don't know what's gone on with him and McKenna, but they've been told to train alone, so I don't know. They said it's not behavioural issues, but if it's not behavioural issues, then what is it? I don't know. But yeah, maybe Niakate. I don't really know. And then left back, probably Toffolo if he can play. Toffolo's a weird player because he'll have a couple of games where he plays really well, and then he'll have 1 or 2 games where he just doesn't fancy it. So we need the on it Toffolo. We need everyone on it really. Midfield, then I'd go with probably Yates maybe. Yates and Mangala. I know that Mangala had that thing where he was wearing a Fulham shirt at the end of the game, which isn't great. But look, what can you do? But I think on the pitch he played well. He tried. I can't say he played well. He tried. So I'll go with those 2. Mangala and Yates. There is a player actually. I'm going to tell you who I think it is. It's Ibrahim starting, but he just doesn't look bothered. He just does not look bothered at all. He came in for a high price. I don't think he's done much, to be honest, to warrant that. And I think he's thinking, well, I've just been signed for a load. Apologies. I've just been signed for a load of money, so they're gonna listen to me rather than the manager and whatnot. So, look, I wouldn't start him in this one. If Cooper does, then fair enough. And then the front 3, I'd have Morgan Gibbs-White in there, probably either in behind or kind of out wide, and then I'd have Anthony Elanga either. So I'd either have it with a 1 in behind, 2 up top, or like 2 out wide, 1 in the middle. I'd have Gibbs-White in there. People are saying go with a false 9. Have Gibbs-White in the middle, like sort of as a what do you call it? Well, it is a false 9, sort of centre forward type thing, with then Cho and Elanga on the wings. I don't think that really. It's not a time to experiment. It's a time to go with what you believe. So I'd probably have Wood up front with Gibbs White and Elanga alongside him. But we need something desperately. We desperately need something from this game. And it's now or never for Steve Cooper, it seems, if what I've read is true. Actually, I believe his birthday is on Sunday. So imagine we lose and he gets sacked on his birthday. That would be painful. That'd be really, really would be difficult one to take. But look, I believe in Cooper. I believe he can be the man to turn things around. It's just whether the players can be bothered to actually try. I'm hoping they can be. I really, really do. I think you just look at games recently. You look at the Brentford game. Dominguez looked like a man possessed. Played brilliantly. Scored his goal. Looked really, really up for it. But against Fulham, he just didn't look bothered. You know, there's been games like Villa at home where they look like they were really at their best, putting themselves on the line and stuff. And then it just seems like of late they don't care. I mean, I wish I was paid half the money they were on. If in my job I performed as badly as that, I'd probably still get paid, but I'd get absolutely I would be in big trouble. It would be unacceptable. How they can do that and think that everything's fine, I don't know. But anyway, look, please let this not be the last Cooper game that we have, because I love the bloke so much. He's a hero of mine. I've got to say, after everything he's done, he's been giving me the best time as a football fan by a mile. Gareth Southgate almost got there with the Euros and the World Cup. Hopefully the Euros this year will bring that. But look, I think I back Cooper, and I hope this isn't his last game. Hopefully the players back him and play for him and just give him something. I look at Gibbs White and I think he cares. Yates, he obviously cares. He's a Forest fan through and through. Look, we need the players, the big players, to step up and stand up and say that they're ready to be counted. And hopefully we can see a reaction. Scoreline-wise, I feel a 2-0 Wolves, I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to be confident. I'm going to be up there. I'm going to say Nottingham Forest 2, Wolves 1. Come on, you Forest, please. Please, please don't let us down. Come on, you Reds.